Now going over to the Culture Pride podcast with Elon Musk on Mayorkas shoe shopping during the hurricane, which is a perfect metaphor for the U.S. government when it comes to when bad things happen, they really aren't doing much. Yeah, well, they are busy sending our resources to other countries that most Americans can't point to on a map, but they are also shopping for fancy shoes, which men should never do. Now, this comes with thanks to Elon Musk on the good old X Twitter. He's actually responding to Mario Naval, and Elon says, quote, maybe Mayorkas could take a break from shoe shopping to look into this. And Mario says, quote, breaking Watchdog uncovers $7 billion in untapped FEMA funds despite Mayorkas' claim that there is none available. Now, they also noted that, let's see, the DHS Inspector General report found over $7 billion in unliquidated FEMA funds, contradicting Secretary Mayorkas' recent statement that FEMA had lacked funds for future disasters. The funds earmarked for disasters from 2012 earlier could be returned to FEMA's disaster relief fund as Hurricane Milton approaches Florida. Critics are questioning the administration's priorities among mounting criticisms. Which, yeah, $7 billion. Can't imagine losing track of that. And apparently, the person who's supposed to be in charge of this is shoe shopping. Or no, you should specify fancy shoe shopping. Which, if you're a guy, how many times do you buy shoes in your life? I think I bought last time I bought a pair of shoes was buy gym shoes, maybe bi-yearly or every other year. Dress shoes, I think I bought one 10 years ago, and they still work fine. The soles are a little worn, but I mean, men don't go and just buy fancy shoes. It's just almost pathetic things I think you could do with your time and resource allocation. Especially, kind of reminded us of the situation of Pete Buttigieg, who disappeared for 6 months and no one realized he was gone, and yet their performance of inadequacy stayed about the same. I'll go ahead and play a quick excerpt here really quick. It's from Fox Business, which is somehow still in business. I'm actually pretty impressed.
Chad Pergram has been following the fallout for FEMA and getting help on the way. The trouble is, help isn't always on the way or even that affordable. They're growing back and forth on this about how FEMA is handling this. Chad, what can you tell us?
Neil, good afternoon. There is a lot of sniping over the politics of disaster relief. It's part of this year's elections. Lawmakers on the right are torching the administration. They believe the feds were not ready for Helene. This worries leaders as Milton bears down on Florida.
When you talk to the people who are directly affected, they will tell you that this has been an abject failure. FEMA has lost sight of its core mission, I think, in so many cases, and the administration has not shown that they were prepared for this eventuality and this terrible disaster.
There are different budget lines for money which help cities cope with the migrant crisis and disaster aid, but some Republicans believe DHS is focused on resettling illegal immigrants and not on the storms.
You probably believe that because they spent about, what was it, $640.1 million on that?
Administration seems to have no problem finding money when they want to spend it on their priorities. When they need hundreds of billions of dollars to pay off student loans for graduate students in gender studies programs, they somehow find it. When it's trying to get helicopters to deliver food and water and cellular service and life-saving medicine into these mountain valleys, they somehow can't seem to find the money.
Yeah, it's because they like everyone except us. This Red Prairie Valley got 26.4 million views. And here, Elon, one of the first comments is, DHS Secretary Mayorkas shops for high-end menswear as mass power outage continues in North Carolina. It also got 2.6 million views and 10,000 likes, which, again, your job, how is he not? Okay, again, it's a public sector, so people are rarely, if ever, held accountable on the left and the right. This one's instances where, really, you're out shoe shopping and going for fancy high-end. First of all, it's almost incomprehensible in this economy that you have money to spend on fancy clothes. I got this suit when I got this about 12 years ago. The best, I would argue, one of the best ROIs ever in terms of getting my money's worth out of it. And this guy's during a point where supposedly you're supposed to be doing your job, one of the biggest natural disasters in years. People are desperately in need, and yet he's shopping for fancy clothes. Which, yeah, let me know in the comments. When's the last time you actually bought? If you're a gentleman in the show, because ladies and gentlemen, we have different shopping preferences, different priorities. If you're a guy, when's the last time you actually bought like dress clothing? Unless you have a job interview or you have a new job. When's the last time you actually bought that? Like, when was the last decade you spent a penny on that? I've been in tech sales and a business owner for 10 plus years, and shoot, I mean, I got my first suit from JCPenney when I was in college, and this is my second one. I got a jacket for my dad. Like, you don't need to. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. Almost incomprehensible in this economy. In this time, you're out when you're supposed to be on the job, you're out buying fancy clothing. When I mean, shoot, even like in IT, when there's an issue, like I work 24 hours straight. If there's some type of outage, there's something like an issue with the manufacturer or a technology client is using, like the private sector hustles when bad things happen. Guys, shoe shop, fancy clothing shopping. Uh, uh, it's almost at the point where I could hardly pontificate or articulate how my disgust with this individual. Ridiculous. So maybe I'm alone. Maybe all the comments will be giving him an accolade saying, "You go, guy," and everyone needs new clothing all the time. Probably not, but let's go look at the top comments here. Let's see. Planet of Memes, A+, they did in fact respond in meme form. Usually it's about a 50-50 shot. He says, quote, "Perhaps we can stop doing this." There's a starving or a very dehydrated looking individual who's getting a couple drops of water from a taxpayer money labeled water pipe. But the majority of the water is being shot into a very hydrated individuals. And that person is labeled foreign nations, and the person who's dehydrated, I don't know if this is irony, because it's a flood, but nevertheless, it says hurricane and flood victims, getting 456 likes, which, yeah, it's interesting. We spend billions every year helping countries that most Americans can't point to on a map. Some, you can make the argument that in terms of business relationships, they're one of our top 10 trading partners. There's a synergy, so to say. But many of them, quite frankly, were not even in their top 10. And even more ironic, their top trading partners are our opponents. But yeah, every time there's a natural disaster, we help out the world. Even just for selfish PR, I'm surprised those countries don't help us out every once in a while. I mean, let me know in the comments. I mean, have you heard about any country, sending in resources, helping us out? I mean, when was the last decade that happened? I'm not saying that those countries don't do joint ventures or joint strategic missions overseas or military team-ups, but when all these natural disasters strike, are we going to see some other country, ship resources here or get, feet on the ground to assist? Can't help but think statistically, and again, I'm not a betting man, but I'd say the odds are quite small. Other top comments comes from the Texas one saying, Mayorkas is running the largest child trafficking ring in the world, getting 432 likes. E. Miles Chong says that money isn't for Americans, it's for illegals, due to 281 likes. Gunther Eagleman also says Mayorkas is a traitor, make no mistake about it, get 820 likes. Let's see here. One bad dude said he belongs in prison like many others, and it looks like a bunch of vintage gangsters, and says what people think mobsters look like. They have a picture of, the Bushes, Obama, Clinton, and can't quite make out the person on the very right. It says what they actually look like. Got 527 likes. Let's see. The Meme Lab, which did respond in meme form, appropriately enough, said illegal aliens are in 4- and 5-star hotels. Meanwhile, Americans in Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida are homeless, getting 257 likes. And a friendly reminder to click that subscribe button because, as you can hear, I don't have the best speaking skills, even though I did take Toastmasters years ago to improve them. But when I first started the show, believe it or not, my speaking is even worse. But as I've gained slowly but surely more subscribers, my speaking has slowly but surely improved, fueling my theory that the more people that click that subscribe button, the better I will be able to speak. And someday, make it through an entire episode, which I could have a perfectly fluent speaking experience for both of us. So if you can do me a favor, click that button and tell your friends. Shoot, tell your enemies. Why not? They might become your friends. I would greatly appreciate it. Go back to the comments of me attempting to read them. You also have, let's see, I'm trying to see if there's any contrarian statements. Thus far, no, not so much. Let's see. Bruce Blau says the money is not for Americans. We aren't supposed to know about that. Getting 157 likes. Ginger says, I feel this now more than ever. It's a picture of Ulysses S. Grant, who says, quote, there are but two parties now, traitors and patriots, getting 82 likes. See here. Oh, Donna Marie also has a clip of Mayorkas from 2021 claiming the border was secure and closed. God, how... Again, a prime example of someone who should be fired for their ineptitudes. Like, the worst border in history. Like, over estimated 11 million illegals in past 41 months. I mean, how does he still have a job? It's ridiculous. Now, that clip also got 250 likes. And again, mostly agreeing statements. Again, let me know in the comments, what are the odds that this person actually gets, held accountable and Mayorkas actually gets fired for his ineptitudes? I don't know why, it just especially bothers me that you're supposedly on the job and you're shopping for fancy clothes. Again, people there don't have food, they don't have water. It's so viscerally disgusting that his choice of time resource allocation, that's ridiculous. Even though I know he's not a frontline employee in terms of he's not going to be on the ground actually doing stuff, he's more logistics and resource allocation, but it's still just ridiculous. Let me know in the comments. Are you surprised by Mayorkas' actions? Do you think he'll ever be held accountable? Let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.